Good afternoon. This is the matter of Shiva, and I apologize if I mispronounced this badly. Ayyadurai versus, I'm sorry, New Jersey Democratic State Committee versus Shiva Ayyadurai. Appearances, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Raj Parikh, Penn Law LLP, on behalf of the petitioners, the New Jersey Democratic State Committee, and Kinnery Badger.
Judge, you are not recording yet, just so you know, as you're taking appearances.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the appearance, Mr. Parikh. Dr. Shiva, are you representing yourself this afternoon?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Dr. Shiva. I'm representing myself pro se.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Parikh, this is your challenge, so I'll hear from you first.
Thank you, Judge. The challenge is pretty simple, Your Honor. The United States Constitution requires, in order for someone to be qualified to run for the office of President of the United States, a variety of things, including that the individual either be a citizen at the time of the signing of the Constitution, which clearly nobody alive at the moment is, or alternatively, that the candidate be a natural-born citizen. That has been defined as someone who is a citizen at birth and who was not naturalized thereafter. Is our understanding from Dr. Ayyadurai's filings in litigation in the District of Columbia that he was naturalized as a United States citizen in, I believe, 1983. He was born outside of the United States to parents who were not citizens of the United States at the time, and therefore he is not qualified on that basis to run for the office of President of the United States. And that is the sum and substance of our argument, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Shiva?
Your Honor, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present at this administrative hearing. This is not a simple matter. I would like to, before I proceed to the points of law, refuting what Mr. Parikh has said, because he's conflating running for president, and candidate obviously has not read the Constitution. It's unfortunate. But before I proceed to the points of law, I would like to, which are points of law on why it is unequivocally illegal and unlawful and unconstitutional to allow the New Jersey Democratic State Committee to not allow me to be on the ballot. Before I go to that, Your Honor, I'd like to begin, and in fact, to dictate to the people of New Jersey that I be removed off the New Jersey ballot for the President of the United States. I would like to begin first with some prefatory remarks and observations, Your Honor, following by a brief background on my campaign, and both important to protect the record in the event of having to appeal this decision from this hearing, as well as to support the legal points of law. I hope that's okay, Your Honor. So
Sure.
Let me begin with a couple of prefatory remarks and observations, Your Honor, and kindly understand this is in all great respect to the court. But again, to protect the record, I need to do this, particularly given the Democratic Party of New Jersey is an adversarial party in this matter concerning me and my campaign, as I am not a registered Democrat and running against their presumptive candidate, Kamala Harris. Now, it's come to my attention that the Democrat Governor Phil Murphy nominated you as one of the 3 judges to the OAL. And Mr. Parikh, my opposing counsel, who's representing the New Jersey Democratic Party, is a very close professional ally of the Democratic Governor Murphy, the same person who nominated you for this post. Now, Mr. Parikh, a Democrat, it's well known, served as a senior counsel for Murphy and was part of his 2018 transition team and worked closely with the Democrat Murphy and a senior team on the issues of statewide importance, including going to India in 2019.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this entire kind of discussion.
So let me finish.
This is a...
Hang on, hang on. Wait, Dr. Shiva, hold on a minute. Mr. Parikh, I'm going to give him some latitude to put his position on the record.
That's fine, Your Honor, but I'd ask for 2 things. One, if he's going to be testifying, that he be sworn. It sounds like what he's doing is essentially standing on a soapbox, which is fine, but it's not appropriate.
No, that's not true. That's obviously not true. You want to make this a minor issue. You want to make this
gentlemen,
and you're the one who started.
I'll go back on mute, Your Honor.
If you address your comments to me and not each other.
Yeah.
So right now, Mr. Parikh, Dr. Shiva has the floor. I'm going to let him put his statement on the record.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I do this with great honor to the court, but to protect the record, particularly given there's a large likelihood this will go to appeal. And therefore, I request you, Your Honor, and I've been in federal court and other courts before, if there's been any communication between you and either the governor's office of the New Jersey State Democratic Committee, directly or indirectly, and if there's particular relationship with Mr. Parikh that we should be aware of. And finally, Your Honor, I ask these questions to provide these observations with the greatest respect solely to protect the record, given how I've observed Mr. Parikh seems to dictate the schedule on this case, which is arbitrary and capricious. He decides when he's going to come and when he's going to go. He decides, oh, this is only going to be a 20 to 30-minute case. I've never seen this before. So as I close my prefatory remarks and observations, Your Honor, I also have to ask, there was in the Zoom list, there was one editor-in-chief, only one press person invited to this event in the CC, and I noticed it was Mr. Wildstein of Bridgegate Notoriety, and I was just curious why he was the only press person invited, given we live in the age of traditional and social media, when there's so many other people who'd like to come to this hearing, which is of both local and national importance. So I just wanted to start with those prefatory remarks, given the way that I believe Mr. Parikh has abused this court and the way he decides when he's going to come and go. I've never seen this before. So I just wanted to make those prefatory remarks for the record, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I respond to that?
No, not at this point.
So,
Dr. Shiva, you can proceed with your argument.
Yeah, let me go to the legal points on the argument. And I want to be, I have six to seven legal points that address the matter, which exposes the fact that Mr. Parikh doesn't understand the law, or maybe he's purposely not understanding. But let me begin first, that I would like to proceed on the legal matters, again, to state that it's unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional to allow the New Jersey Democratic State Committee to dictate the will of the people of New Jersey who want me on the ballot. Not only the people of New Jersey, Your Honor, but also the people of the United States want me on the ballot. In April of 2023, I was one of the first candidates to announce my candidacy for president of the United States. And that news was carried both nationally and internationally. Now, the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, the subject matter expert on elections in the United States, the United States Supreme Court, and the Constitution all defend my civil right to run and be on every state ballot in the United States as a candidate for president, which is a federal office, not a state office, provided I'm running a bona fide campaign for president. So here's the evidence, Your Honor. Am I running a bona fide campaign? Yes, unequivocally. We have over 250,000 volunteers and supporters for our campaign nationally. In every state, there's a state leader with hundreds to thousands of supporters and volunteers who work in a dedicated manner. Our mission is to ensure that we stop the assault on the working people of this country who've been made second-class citizens, as Mr. Parikh and the Democratic Committee are trying to make me, by collusion with Republicans and fake independents. Now, in New Jersey, for the record, Your Honor, we have more than complied with all the rules for adding my candidacy for president to the New Jersey ballot. Again, for the record, the deadline for filing was 7/29, July 29, 2024. Our state leader, Rose C.S., filed it early on 7/11/2024. We submitted.
Dr. Shiva, you don't have to provide any testimony or not testimony, but argument in that regard, because there's only one issue in front of me.
Okay, I want to, on the record, in the four corners, I want to make sure that it's clear that we have complied with everything. We went over, in fact, 50% over the signature petitions required. That's a very important thing. We submitted all the paperwork required. That's the most important point. Let me go to the points of law, Your Honor. I just wanted to give that background. So first, the people of New Jersey want me on the ballot. First point of law, the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, on September 2nd, 2011, the subject matter expert on this said any citizen, natural born or naturalized, can run for president of the United States and be on state ballots. We filed our paperwork in compliance with the FEC on April of 2023, and we have filed all our quarterly reports. That's the first point of law. Second point of law, Your Honor, is on March of 2024, in a precedent-setting case in Trump versus Anderson, the Supreme Court of the United States, the highest court of the United States, unanimously, in a 9-0 decision, rebuked and denied the decision of the state Supreme Court of Colorado in Trump versus Anderson that had denied Donald Trump ballot access on the Colorado state's ballot, saying that he had violated a provision of the Constitution. specifically Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. The court unequivocally, all Democrats and Republicans on that court ruled no state, no Secretary of State or state election official can deny ballot access to a presidential candidate or any federal candidate, even using a constitutional provision, period. This was a historic ruling, Your Honor. The ruling further stated only Congress can deny ballot access to a federal candidate. States cannot. States like New Jersey can dictate ballot access or deny ballot access to state candidates. That's a second point of law, Your Honor. Third, the people of New Jersey want me, Dr. Shiva, on the ballot. This is a political process, the will of the people. As such, this comes under, as you may be aware, of the political question doctrine. It's a non-justiciable issue. And those who are not familiar with this law, non-justiciable means that even a court does not have the power to exercise its judicial power. The political process must prevail. This is one of the founding principles of the United States by the framers. Now, the qualification for president is a non-justiciable political issue that is determined by the voters, quote unquote qualification, and hence cannot be interfered by state or federal election officials. Now, although Article 2 discuss quote unquote qualifications, the Constitution does not provide any mechanism for disqualifying a candidate. Therefore, since there's no enforcement mechanism, the qualification is a non-justiciable political issue. And that is in effect left up to the voters for the political process. And it's very important to understand that this non-justiciable issue has been called forward in Baker versus Carr in 1962 and Nixon versus US in 1993. Now, what's really important to understand is New Jersey has been the epitome of this non-justiciable issue. Because in New Jersey, as Richard Winger recently just wrote about it, he was a ballot access scholar, he said that in New Jersey on multiple occasions, the state of New Jersey has supported this non-justiciable nature of ballot access. In fact, on multiple occasions, people who did not even meet the quote unquote qualifications, they weren't even 35 for many minority parties, were put on the ballot. Therefore, the question is, why are the New Jersey Democrats leading the effort to take me off the ballot when they did not do this in the past to other people who were not qualified? But to me, Your Honor, it makes a lot of sense. As an immigrant who came into this country in 1970, who's contributed a lot, I've seen what the Democratic Party is about. They, in collusion with the Republicans, as history shows, are the ones who withheld rights for Black people. It was the Democratic Party in collusion with the Republicans who laughed Susan B. Anthony when she requested universal suffrage. And right now, it is a Democratic Party, the racist, sexist Democratic Party, who's violating the 5th and 14th Amendments and the rulings such as Bowling versus Sharp and Schneider versus Rusk, which is unequivocally stated that it is illegal to discriminate between a naturalized citizen and natural-born citizen. The issue here, Your Honor, and you can be the one rationally prosecuting this forward, not irrationally as others have done in history. It is about one America, one citizenship. Neither I nor the other 20 million immigrants in this country who are naturalized citizens can be treated as second-class citizens. The 14th Amendment and the 5th Amendment make it clear, as well as I said, rulings such as Bowling versus Sharp and Schneider versus Rusk. So in closing, Your Honor, when it comes to civil rights, the racists, the sexists, and those who are biased of those by national origin irrationally have rationalized injustice. There was a time when this court would have denied the rights of Black people to have access to restaurants. There was a time when this court would have irrationally denied women's the right to vote. This court must not allow that racist, sexist, anti-American attitude by the Democratic Party that Mr. Parikh represents, in partnership with the Republican Party, to irrationally rationalize why I should be taken off the ballot. To summarize, Your Honor, the FEC has ruled I can run for federal office. So Mr. Parikh said I cannot run. He doesn't know the law. He's making stuff up. The Supreme Court has ruled it is unconstitutional for any state to deny ballot access to a candidate running for federal office, even when someone has violated provisions of the Constitution. In the case of Trump, insurrection. Now, only Congress can decide who can be on the ballot for federal office. It's been ruled 9-0. And finally, this is a non-justiciable issue that the political process must determine. Therefore, I ask you, Your Honor, with great respect, this court must act rationally and must deny the racist, sexist, Democratic, prejudiced Democratic Party and their cohorts in the Republican Party that aim to deny me ballot access. They must deny them that opportunity. And if you deny Shiva for president ballot access, you deny the will of the people of New Jersey. And as of now, any such decision would be arbitrary and capricious behavior, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Parikh, did you want to respond?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. First, it sounds like I'm just gonna. First, I've already made my objection. I'm not gonna respond to any of the personal attacks or any of the political rhetoric. I don't think it's appropriate, but I will respond to what I believe are some of the legal arguments, Your Honor. First, with respect to what I think is a standing argument, associational standing in New Jersey is covered by the Appellate Division's recent decision from April 4th, 2024, and NJ Coalition of Automotive Retailers versus Ford Motor. I think the site is 2024 Westlaw 1461817. Here, the Democratic State Committee, excuse me, as well as Ken Badger, both have not only direct standing through Ms. Badger, but also associational standing in order to file this petition challenge. With respect to the arguments regarding the Federal Election Commission, that is a governmental entity whose limitations legislatively are on regulating campaign finance, not ballot access. I don't think any of those arguments are relevant to the issues here. Third, there was a reference to Trump versus Anderson, which is the Colorado ballot access case. That case was a challenge and a ballot access issue under Article 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Again, that is not the issue here. Finally, actually, I'm sorry, second to last, there's this argument that ballot access is a non-justiciable issue. There is ample evidence that the Secretary of State of New Jersey has the ability to determine whether candidates are qualified to access the ballot or not. It could be something as simple as whether they have sufficient petition signatures or whether the candidate themselves is qualified whether it's under federal law or state law, under the U.S. Constitution or the New Jersey Constitution or otherwise. And so this is a justiciable issue. This very Office of Administrative Law has handled these types of matters for decades, providing a report recommendation in terms of an initial decision to the Secretary of State, who then has the ability under the Administrative Procedures Act to just determine whether or not she will accept that, change it, or send it back. And finally, the argument here again is a qualification under Article 2, Section 1 of the United States Constitution. As the son of naturalized immigrants, I understand and personally don't believe, and I don't think my clients believe, that naturalized immigrants have any other different role in society. However, the Constitution says what it says, and the interpretations, while limited, of that clause are fairly clear as to what it is that is required. And so, because Dr. Ayyadurai is not qualified under that basic part of Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution, his petition should be rejected. I'll also just note for the record, Your Honor, we are not challenging anything else. We're not challenging signatures. We're not challenging anything else other than qualification to serve under that relevant section of the U.S. Constitution due to Dr. Ayyadurai being a naturalized citizen. Thank you.
Okay, I have the legal memo from Mr. Parikh, and Dr. Shiva, you indicate you're not submitting anything further?
No, I didn't know I don't know where, I thought it was an oral hearing. And if Mr. Parikh is doing an end run and submitting,
Now,
I should have,
so
let me finish. I should have a right to also submit it because.
Just
this
so
is
we're
what I'm
clear.
talking about.
Just so we're clear, though, the only thing I'm referring to is the letter, the letter that was part of the attachment. It's dated August 1st, 2024. That
Right,
single
so
page.
Yeah, so I would like
a single
to,
page letter, Your Honor.
yes, I would like
That's all,
to,
it's just registering his objection.
so I would like to object to some of the actual false statements Mr. Parikh has made. First of all,
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, Doc.
Sure.
In respect to the, how about in respect to the qualification argument? What statements did he make that are inaccurate or incorrect?
First of all, he's conflating. He keeps saying running for president as a candidate. Let's be very specific here, because either he doesn't understand the law or he thinks he can massage this through the court. We're talking about a candidate, okay? Trump versus Anderson made it unequivocally clear that for a federal office, only Congress can decide who gets put on a ballot and who cannot. States can only dictate state officials, period. That was a 9-0 ruling. So that's number one. When we're talking about quote unquote qualifications for a president, for candidacy, the FEC rule is very relevant because that came right after the Hassan case in June of 2011, where Hassan was trying to get on the ballot on this issue that he was a naturalized citizen. After that issue, the FEC issued their very important ruling on this, that anyone can run for president, naturalized or otherwise. This is extremely important. And Mr. Parikh is massaging this over because he's talking about as a candidate for president. We're talking about running for president. Third, most importantly, as Mr. Richard Winger, who's written about this, he just put up a post right up on recently. He said, already as noted, New Jersey has traditionally not enforced quote unquote qualification as it's printed the names of 6 minor party and independent presidential or vice presidential candidates who are under age 35 or were not born in the United States on the ballot. So here's the issue. Why is now qualification becoming so important when it comes to me? So either Mr. Parikh has forgotten what has occurred in the past, or I'm being isolated by the Democratic Party because I actually am a bona fide candidate who offers serious opposition to the Democrats and will take votes away from Kamala Harris. And that's what the real issue at hand is. Otherwise, if I were not a threat, that we would not be here in this situation. But the bottom line is that in the Trump versus Anderson, which is a very relevant ruling, that you cannot, the state governments cannot deny in any way ballot access to a federal candidate, period. This has already been ruled upon. So to say that's not relevant, well, something's wrong. You don't know how to read the law because this was ruled on in a 9-0 ruling. Now, furthermore to all of this, we have something called the 14th Amendment, and we have Schneider versus Rusk, and we also have Bowling versus Sharp. Schneider versus Rusk made it unequivocal. You cannot discriminate between a naturalized citizen and a natural-born citizen. But irrespective of that, to becoming president, to deny me the rights to get on the ballot after the people of New Jersey want the will is completely illegal, unconstitutional, and unlawful, period.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll make my ruling, issue it tomorrow, hopefully before noon.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you both.
Thanks, Judge.